So I have been asked by a few people to do an updated tutorial on the Petri hearts. Um, so I've already got my Bond Crafter resin mixed, ready to go. I switched sinker ink because what I was using was not giving me the results that I wanted. So I found this on Amazon. It's just some kind of off-brand, I don't know, but there's bottom and middle. I'll link that, and I will link this mold. Anybody that follows me on Facebook, all this is in my link tree. But I'm using alcohol inks. Normally I use like the resin pigment because I like it better, but with this sinker, with these sinkers, the alcohol ink works the best because it's making the resin pigment not like cure fully, if that makes any sense. So I'm just going to give these a really good shake until I can't really see any white at the bottom. Okay, so I gave them a good shake, and I'll probably shake them more before I use them. You don't want to see any of that white that settled to the bottom. You gotta really shake these. But they do create the effect that I like. So I'm gonna take this resin, and I only fill these about halfway. Now, some might be a little thicker than others. I don't think anything I do is exactly like the last, but you know how that goes. These are my favorite things to make. Okay, so I'm just going to take my inks and figure out which ones I want to work together really quick. Okay, so I've got green and a sapphire blue. I always do a few drops on each side. And then if I need to go back, I'll go back. And they just kind of push each other out of the way. And I've got a light blue and yellow, greenish kind of color. Cement green is taking over. Ooh. Whoops, that happens. We can fix that. And that's another thing about the alcohol ink. The alcohol will evaporate with that resin pigment. The alcohol doesn't, there's no alcohol in it, so it doesn't evaporate. So it's really hard to cure. So I've got purple and yellow. I really don't do tutorials, so this purple is not purpling like it should. So I'll probably have to use right much. I don't know why this one's like that. but I like that purple and yellow combination. It's one of my favorites. There we go. And I've got black and red. And this is sitting on a heat mat, but my heat mat is not on. I'm not using my heat mat right now. So this is just at, it's about 73, 75 degrees in here. In my little workshop area, so yeah. It's about the temperature you want it. Temperature and everything affects what you're doing here. So I've got peach and brown, which I think is a really cute, like pink and brown, brown and like blue or teal. People underestimate the color brown. I like the color brown. I don't use it enough. Come on, give me one more. Okay, and I've got pink and orange, which is also one of my favorite color combos. This pink is very powerful. I don't think so. It is. Alright. Now, I'm going to go in immediately with my sinkers. Bottom sinker first. Bottom sinker. I don't know. 10 drops. Maybe not 10, that's 8. So we'll do 8. So it's 11. And I don't normally count these drops. I just kind of do. Which is another reason why I don't make tutorials. But this is just how I do it. So then I give that a second. Let it start to drop there. You can see it dropping. Go back with my middle sinker. That's about 6 drops. I don't use as much of the middle as I do the bottom. Can't give you a reason. It's just how I started doing it. When I switched the sinker, it worked. So that's what I've been doing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm gonna give this somewhere between 30 and 45 minutes. The color is going to push down. Okay, like I said, your temperature in your room and everything affects this. So you just want your color to push down, and when I'll test it with a toothpick, and it'll be thickened, but it will not be like a film over it. It won't be gloopy globby, whatever you want to call it. And then I'll do my swirl. So I'll let you know about how long it's been when we come back. Okay, so it has been 30 minutes. Well, it's been about 35 minutes. But I will take a toothpick and I'll stick it in my resin, and I will see how thick it is as far as how long it takes it to drip. And you know, that's taking it a little bit, so I'm gonna swirl, wipe. And sometimes I drag the bottom of that mold, sometimes I don't. I mean, I don't, it doesn't really affect what I'm doing here. And I do not use heat on these. I don't use alcohol spray on these. I just let them do their thing. I'm just kind of swirling whatever. Okay, and you see it's pretty much staying put. But like I said, I'm using Von Crafter resin. I'm using just any old kind of alcohol ink as far as the color goes. I will link all this stuff best I can. If you follow me on Facebook, it's all in my link tree in my bio. We'll come back tomorrow and we will unmold all this stuff. I am going to turn my heat mat on. The heat will speed up the curing process. This is where it gets a little tricky. If your mold is deep, and I don't really know what kind of measurements to give you, you may flash cure if you use too much heat. If you use a torch, you got to be careful with that, because it can ruin your mold. It can flash cure your resin. But with the thinner pieces, the heat will speed up the curing process, but then it will also make it soft. Like these will demold also. But I'm going to turn my heat mat on because it will speed up the curing process. It'll stay on for 6 hours, and then I'll let it cool. And I should be able to at least demold these. These might be a little bendy, but I'll pop these out and we'll see what they look like. Okay, so it's the next day, and I did go back later on yesterday and put a black backing on all these. By the way, they were hard in like an hour on the heat mat, but I didn't turn the heat mat on until after I was done with everything. So anyway, let's pop them out. And so we probably could have used a little less sinker, but still. I like that one. That purple one's really pretty. And this one. So yeah. That is my updated tutorial on the Petri hearts. Oops. I also want to give a big shout out to West Texas Glitter. That's where I get all my glitter. This one is Midnight Moon. This one is ice crystals. This one is Athena. It's one of my favorites. Can't remember what this one's called. Neverland. That's what this one is. Look how pretty. And this one is Cotton Candy. I'll try to link my affiliate code and all that. You can get 20% off your glitter if you choose. But anyway, there's my updated tutorial. Thank you guys for watching.